All right, well, Joe, welcome to the Mortgage Update with Mike and Joe. We are smack dab in the middle of summer.
Yeah,
Weather's
busy.
been nice. I can tell we've both been outside. You've
Yep.
been on the
Little bit of
soccer field, and
bit of sun.
I've been boating. But
Do
it's
you
been.
sit out with one of those foils and just sun your face?
I just, I'm on my jet ski,
Yeah.
actually, is what I'm doing. So it's a lot of fun. So before we kind of jump into the market, just a quick update. Just wanted to let everyone know that this September 15th, I think most of you guys know that I'm the current president of the New York State Mortgage Bankers Association. We're having our convention September 15th through the 17th at Turning Stone. If anyone is interested, this is really going to be, I think, an exciting one because it's about innovative housing solutions. Joe, we got green builders coming. We have manufactured home dealers, tiny homes, all different types of alternative types
What
of.
about Boxable? You got those guys coming?
I don't know if, you know what, maybe we should have
should
them
call them for
come. I
sponsorship.
should come, yeah, that's a good idea. So and it's just some great speakers. So we're excited about that. But Joe, let's just shift gears. Obviously, we're halfway through the year. Share with everybody kind of what did June look like just from a market perspective? Anything jump out at you?
We're starting to see, as we do typically see around this time of year, usually it's right after school ends, between end of school, 4th of July, the market starts to turn a little bit, soften
Right.
a little bit. I've seen a lot of social media posts over the past couple weeks about houses going past delays.
Right.
And so we're starting to see that little bit of shift in the market right now. Still competitive and definitely in pockets, as always. There's those hot pockets that tend to go a little crazy. But when we look at Monroe and surrounding counties in the month of June, we finished the month 12.42% over, so a little bit down. We were 14.5% or 14.9% over in May, so a little bit of a decrease there. Average dollar amount over list decreased down to $30,000 from $38,000. Government lending was up. We had 10 government loans in May. We had 20 in June. So that's a big spike, almost double. Was double the amount of volume there. In Monroe County, just on its own, average list price decreased from 277 to 266. Decrease in percent over list from 18% in May to 16% in June.
Okay.
And average dollar amount over decreased about $10,000 from 47 to 37,000. And then government volume went up, 18 government transactions, up from 8 from the month before, so a little bit more than double.
Okay.
So again, usually when the market is a little softer is when we start to see that government business creep in. And, so we're continuing to see that market shift a little bit and lighten up a little bit. On the Onondaga County and surrounding, we saw the average list price actually go up from $295 to $322. And we finished the month of June averaging 5.97% over list, which is way up from the 1% over in May.
Joe, as I look at these Onondaga numbers, I mean, I spent a fair bit of time there. There's definitely each month there is this basically growing enthusiasm, if you will, over what Micron is doing there in terms of building that plant. It's still years away, but there's definitely the county executive there has done a great job of providing progress and updates and steps that they're going through to move this forward. I think what would be good probably for one of our next few podcasts is either to give a more deeper update on that, or even potentially invite Ryan McMahon to participate with us to give us an update, because it's certainly a big deal in Central New York, but certainly really it's a big deal for Upstate New York as well.
Yep. Onondaga County on its own, when we look at those numbers, average list price went from $296 in May to $335 in June. And then the average amount percent increased from 3.62 to 6.26. So again, we always talk about this, right? A tale of two markets. Not as extreme numbers in Onondaga and surrounding, but we're definitely feeling the little bit of relief that we're feeling in Monroe and surroundings, right? We're starting to see some of that activity kind of cool off a little bit.
Yeah, the other thing too is I think for those folks that are listening and just generally speaking, you continually hear, Joe, just from a national perspective, how inventory is way up.
Yep.
Prices are beginning to drop. And I think, we talk about this every month. We're not experiencing that here. And it's important to remember that real estate is local, and that you really need to pay attention to the trends that we're seeing.
And I think, right now is the time, right? If you were in the market in the spring and you didn't get a house, it's time to get back out there. Call your agent, talk to them, call your LO, get your pre-qual refreshed, because really we have this window from now until about school starts. And then we get another kind of a second wind in the real estate business, usually after kids get back to school and people are trying to get into houses before year end. So this is the time where, you can get back out there and maybe take advantage of an opportunity to get yourself home.
Exactly. So obviously every month we want to talk just a little bit about rates and what's going on with mortgage rates. Obviously this week, Joe, we had both, the biggest inflation readers, obviously the CPI, the PPI came out. And again, what are your thoughts? It seemed like it was pretty tame and kind of in line, if you will, what people expected.
In line with where people expected. I think that the more telling one is the producer price index, because that's where the tariffs would show up first.
Right.
And it was actually lower than expected.
Right.
So I think we're starting to see the shift in the winds from the rate perspective, where I did hear that potentially a cut coming in September, which would be in line for, going into the fall market.
Right.
But, the nice thing I think that we've experienced as of late is, yes, rates are relatively high to where they were, but they've been pretty stable.
They really
We
have.
haven't seen major fluctuations like we saw in the past couple of years, where, one week we're at 6 and the next week we're at 7.5.
Right.
So I think that's been kind of reassuring that, we're in that 0.25% range as far as volatility is concerned. We're not in those big 0.5% to 0.75% swings that we were seeing before.
Right. And just because they drop rates doesn't mean the mortgage rates are going to follow.
Correct. Right. You're going to make less money on your checking and savings accounts. And,
Right.
Mortgage rates maybe stay relatively where they are.
So Joe, next month,
big month.
Bills Camp.
Yep.
Bills Camp.
We're going to be live. Bills Camp.
Yep.
So last year, Mike, I'm going to remind you.
Yep.
All right. So we made some predictions last year.
I'm not
Bills
making
Camp,
one yet.
right?
I've got to think about
No, don't make them now. We'll save them for next podcast. But last year you predicted 10-7.
I
for the
did.
Bills. Didn't have a lot of faith.
Nope,
Not a
I
true
did not.
believer there. I predicted 12-5. The Bills actually finished 13-4. So I got this one. We'll see how you do this year, Mike. I haven't been doing my homework too much. I'm not going to lie. I've been pretty busy with a few things here and there, but time to dive in.
I'm a
It's
big
camp time.
believer in, just underestimate, try to, let them exceed my expectations, be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
So
don't set yourself up for the disappointment, because we've lived that for a long time, right?
we have. We are due. We are due. So one
more question.
Sure.
So I should save this for next week, but is this a do or die for McDermott, a Super Bowl or job? Is he on the hot seat?
I think if they perform well and they, at least get past the Chiefs, win the AFC, get into the Super Bowl, I think that, but if they get in, I think they win. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really do. And that's so.
Mark it down.
So you heard
So
it.
we weren't making predictions.
Well,
We'll
I
save it for
didn't.
next
I didn't
week.
predict
The record.
The record.
Yeah.
So more to come on that. Hey Joe, just one last thing before we sign off. So obviously, GRB we're a community bank. We give back to the community. For many years, we've had a lot of fun with our GRB house band, affectionately known as Refer with Caution. They are going to be participating in an event. Last year was called Battle of the Bands. This year, I believe it's called something else.
It's no longer a battle. They felt bad having a winner.
But it's really to raise money for the United Way.
Right.
So we're gonna, push this out to all of our referral partners and certainly friends. The more people that come that buy a ticket, more money goes to the United Way. which is a great cause for the local community. So more to come on that. We're looking forward to that event, and we'll see everybody next month at Bills Camp.
All right.
All right,
Signing off.
go Bills.
Go Bills.